Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome to Raising Howl. It's been a while. Yeah, I don't do this on the regular. Probably should be more regular. You know, that would be a good business model. Don't really do this for the business model. Honestly, I just like interacting with Red Wolves fans. That's kind of where I am. Hey, today's kind of a big week for Arkansas State. It felt like it was going to be a bigger week entering the season, right? All right, this is going to be a big showdown. Now we hope it's not a big mowdown. Arkansas State welcomes Texas State to Centennial Bank Stadium tomorrow, 3 p.m. I'll be there. I think most fans will be there. Yeah, and there's a lot of upset folks. I get it. I'm one of them. You know, when you allow Kennesaw State to open the game with 3 consecutive touchdowns, that's not good. When you lose to ULM for the first time since 2009 and you don't score a single offensive touchdown, that's not good. No, and quite frankly, in Butch Jones' year 5 of this program, we should not be playing this poorly. He's got a lot of excuses. I get it. There's a lot of NIL turnover, and the landscape of college football wasn't the same when he started. I get all that. Everybody's dealing with that, though. The fact is you got beat by a first-year head coach and a second-year head coach. To one program that just entered the FCS or FBS 2 years ago, and to another program that has threatened to be buried by budget constraints every single year. There's really no excuse for losing to Kennesaw State or ULM. Not when you're Arkansas State. Now we get Texas State. A program that's on sort of an upward trajectory ever since it hired its coach, G.J. Kinney, a couple of seasons ago. G.J. Kinney. By the way, I heard that his name is sort of being bandied around for the open position at Arkansas. I don't have much thought on that. But Texas State, yeah, that was a program that came to the Sun Belt as an FCS program and was an A-State punching bag for many years. In fact, despite the outcome of tomorrow's game, Arkansas State will have the all-time winning record against the Bobcats. Record stands at 7-5 now. There's no way that they can exceed that as a Sun Belt foe. So we'll always have that. But right now, Texas State is coming to Jonesboro, and Arkansas State may not be prepared. Let's face it. If they looked anything like they did last Saturday or the Saturday before that, Arkansas State's going to be in a lot of trouble. Texas State plays good offense. Texas State plays good defense. Texas State has a former Red Wolf having a career year at running back, Lincoln Perry. Lincoln Perry? I think it's Perry. Texas State has a quarterback who we didn't know much about. He was just kind of on the roster. Brad Johnson, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the Sun Belt. Texas State has a pretty good wide receiver in Bo Sparks. And Texas State is leaving the Sun Belt. They're going to the new Pretend 12. When they go, they're going to call themselves Power 5, which is funny. Appalachian State is playing one of the Power 5 Pac-12 guys. Oregon State, they're 0-5. I don't know where Washington State is, but I imagine they're not too much better. Listen, you're not Power 5. You're in the same boat as you were when you left the Sun Belt. You're just now on the West Coast. Congrats. That doesn't really matter to Texas State right now. They're riding a high, and they should be. They're doing pretty good. They have some decent wins. Do they have marquee wins? No. But their wins have been pretty, pretty good. Arkansas State doesn't have a marquee win. We've got one win. We got a win over FCS Southeast Missouri. Scored more than 40 points, though. We haven't done that in a while. Last 3 weeks, we scored a total of 16 points twice. We can't score. At the beginning of the season, I was looking at A-State, and I was really worried about that defense. Good reason. We got a first-year defensive coordinator. We got a lot of new pieces. I was worried about the defense. But I wasn't worried about the offense. Why? Third-year starting quarterback. A starting wide receiver that's been with the program for 5 years and has been around college football for even longer than that. We had running backs with experience. Even our offensive line, a lot of people are like, well, a lot of these guys are first-time starters. They've been around the program for a while. So I was like, okay, I think this is a unit that can score. Hell, even the field goal kicker, Clune Van Andel, he's a weapon too. There's no real reason why this team can't score points, especially on ULM, but ULM got 6 sacks. 6 sacks on Arkansas State. Did you know that ULM totaled 6 sacks against UTEP and St. Francis? They got 3 apiece on those teams, but 6 on us. 6. Jalen Rayner at the press conference the other day, very quick to say, hey, listen, it's not all on the offensive line. My pocket presence hasn't been great. It's up to me to get rid of the ball. I get that. And he's right. Jalen Rayner has not looked the same since Iowa State. He has not. He's not the same guy. He's not the same guy since week 1. Week 1, he was throwing catchable passes. He was making plays with his legs. Where is that guy? What happened to him? Even against Arkansas, even against Iowa State, most of that guy was there. Completely vanished now. He's gone. That's alarming. Arkansas State welcomes Texas State tomorrow at 3 p.m. My name's Jeremy Harper. This is Racing Howl. And we're getting ready for a game. It's not all doom and gloom. The Red Wolves hadn't been back to Centennial Bank Stadium in a couple weeks, and they play better at home. And listen, there's probably a fire under Butch Jones and the team right now. They're looking at the film. They see how bad they look against Kennesaw State and the Warhawks. They'll see how bad they look and be like, hey, we're a better team than that. People have approached me and said, Jeremy, you need to be more critical of the program and maybe call for action. That's not really me. Not being critical. I can be critical. I'm being critical now. I'm not demanding heads. That's not me. It's not my place. Butch Jones, he said, hey, there hasn't been an assistant coach or coach that made a tackle or throw a football in a game ever. And it sounded like a little bit of pushing people under the bus a little bit, but he's right. In the end, the players have to make the plays. But let's be honest with ourselves, too. The team doesn't look prepared to make those plays right now, and that's on the coaching staff. They'll say, well, there's a lot of inexperienced guys, a lot of new guys. A lot of these guys have played football before. They know the game of football. How come the team doesn't look like they've ever seen a football before?
You buy a pair of socks, that's 2 socks. You buy a pair of Bombas socks, that's 4 socks. Because one purchased is one donated. Socks are the #1 most requested clothing item in homeless shelters. So when you buy a pair of super comfortable Bombas socks, you're also donating a pair. Bombas customers have powered over 150 million donations. So Bombas would like to thank you 150 million times. But we only have like 30 seconds. Go to bombas.com and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO at checkout.
Until the second quarter. Why is that? Several years ago when I was a college kid, back in the 90s, I had this conversation with a guy. I don't even remember who it was. He wasn't really a friend. He was mostly just somebody I kind of ran into. And somehow we got talking about Bill Walsh. You old-timers will remember Bill Walsh. He won a couple Super Bowls as head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. And ESPN at the time was just prone to calling him the genius. He was the genius. That's a good reputation to have, to be called the genius, right? But I'm a contrarian. I don't like it when people are just called the genius, especially when they've used their ingeniousness for football. So I took umbrage. I thought, is Bill Walsh really a genius? Come on. He coaches football. Why are we calling him the genius? And this guy got really kind of upset with that. I found out right away. He was a big fan of Bill Walsh. Probably just should have kept my thoughts to myself. Got real upset. Started pointing out, all of his accomplishments. Yeah, but is he a genius? Well, they said, hey, have you ever won a Super Bowl? I was like, no. Yeah, you got me. I've never won a Super Bowl. And I think about that a lot. Yes, who am I to question the mental acuity of Bill Walsh? I've never won a Super Bowl. And it's true. I don't know anything about X's and O's. I really don't. I don't know anything about football. I played it through junior high. And I wasn't good at it. There's a lot of things about football that are still a mystery to me. I do like kind of watching experts break down plays because it does, that's how that's supposed to work. But no, if you're asking Jeremy, how do you fix the offense at Arkansas State? Jeremy, how do you fix the defense at Arkansas State? I'm not a genius. I'm not Bill Walsh. I do not know. But we hired some guys who are supposed to know. It's their job. And I know they don't like the criticism. Not Bill Walsh. We didn't hire Bill Walsh. Butch Jones. You could tell was a little defensive at Tuesday's press conference. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, he just lost 2 games he shouldn't have lost. And the fans are letting him have it. And I suspect that probably some higher-ups are letting him have it too. The boosters as well. Everybody wants wins. It's year 5. You're building a culture. Why don't we have eye discipline? But yeah, I get it. You know, he talked about, you know, this is my livelihood. This is my assistant's livelihoods. This is not the first game I've coached. I know how to coach football. Good. Apply that wisdom, please. Get it done. Because right now, we're just not getting it done. How is Kennesaw State getting it done? How is ULM getting it done? Why is Texas State getting it done? Those three programs are getting it done. They operate under the same restraints, under the same gloomy umbrella as Arkansas State does. I'm not Bill Walsh. I'm not a genius. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. I just know that the defense looks terrible. I just know that the offense looks terrible. Watching the team gives the fan absolutely no moment where he or she can feel safe. You're never like, okay, at least the offense has the ball. Maybe we can do something with it. It's more like, oh, the offense has the ball. Here comes a 3 and out. It's never, well, let's just let our defense take care of this game. No. We're going to have some quarterback on the other side have one of his.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort Line. Bombas make socks, slippers, tees, and underwear made with the highest quality materials. Press 1 for comfort, 2 for style, 3 for donation. You chose style. Bombas has styles for whatever you enjoy. You can run in Bombas, lounge in Bombas, dress them up, dress them down, but always give back in Bombas. Because with every item purchased, another is donated. Bombas, comfort worth calling for. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Career best games. This was the situation a couple years ago, and we thought we had fixed it, and now we're back. We're back where we started a couple years ago. You know, here's the thing: when you have a mess, you can clean it up, especially when you have guests coming over. And yeah, I'm sure Butch Jones and the team is really focused right now. I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm sure that they are focused. The season is now. You can't overcome a 1-4 start and then lose a fifth game. You can't. No. You got to win the game. I'm sorry, you got to beat Texas State. I wish it wasn't true. It wouldn't be this way if we had beat ULM and Kennesaw State. You wouldn't have had to beat Texas State. This wouldn't be a must-win game, but you made it a must-win game. So get it together, guys. I don't know if it's about playing 11 for 11. I don't know if it's about eye discipline. I don't know if it's about competitive spirit. I don't know what it is, but figure it out, please. For the love of God. So I have two sons. They're both actually the age of a college football player. And I know if they played for Butch Jones, I know they were in good hands, because one thing I know about Butch Jones is he cares for his kids. I do. He does. I think he loves his kids. I've seen him in action. I've seen the way the players respond to him. There is mutual respect amongst the two. So I will always love Butch Jones for that. The kids are safe with him. I'm going to say it. I don't think it was always that way with some of our coaches. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, I got these two college-age kids, right? One's a freshman. The other is a grad student now. The freshmen, both of them decided they wanted to go out of state for school, which is fine. Honestly, if I had the grades that my kids got, I'd probably will have gone out of state too. I want to see the world, see how other people do, or what other people do, how things are done in other places. How's about that? I think a young man has the right to go out, see the world. And my youngest is going to Ole Miss. My eldest is going to the University of Oregon. And let me tell you something about these two schools, these two regions, these two cities, Oxford and Eugene. The vibe could not be any different. Okay, so I'm sure some of you have been to Oxford for one reason or another. And you go there, and the young men and the young women, they're all on the same page, right? They kind of understand the assignment. The young men, they've got that same haircut that's front-loaded. They probably have a blue blazer in their closet. They all kind of even sound the same. The young women, they're in their Lululemons at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're jogging. They got their yoga mat, fully dressed up. It looks like they're waiting to do like an Instagram video. Everybody just looks nice, right? Dressed up. Even the adults, the older people, guys like me, wearing those checkerboard shirts, severely tucked into our khakis. Everybody looks like they can give sound financial advice, like, let me tell you how to diversify your portfolio. That's what it's like in Oxford. Everybody's on that same page. Eugene, everybody's kind of reading the same book, but nobody's on the same page. Nobody really wants to be like everybody else. It's kind of, if you have a stereotype about Eugene, a lot of it's probably right. It's very granola. It's a lot of people wearing baggy clothes. Like clothes that was just recently picked out of the hamper. Very nice people, though. Extraordinarily nice people. I love Eugene. In fact, I probably feel more comfortable in Eugene than I do at Oxford. So anyway, I'm your travel advisor. You should go to both. It'll be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, I'll see you at Jonesboro when we take on Texas State.